Hi everyone. Let me know if anything wonky is going on with the audio. As usual, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't think that I have audio coming through my little earpiece. I think it's only coming from the webcam. But on the other hand, who the hairy heck knows these days? Certainly not me. Alright, so I got this guy upright, and I figure might as well show you where we left off. Yes, faith works. Okay, so let's see. Wait, focus. So I'm not quite sure how I'm gonna light him for the video that I'm going to be taking of it, but that's kind of testing that out now. So this is kind of flimsy. It's not actually like tied down, which it really should be. That's okay. You get to see it break tonight. That's a special members only feature. Okay, so in case you haven't seen it before, yeah, there's my little mouth cuppy thing that I made. So it splits the haze up into 3 parts. Now I really like what starts happening down here. You can see the smoke actually pouring out of each of the little nostril holes. That's pretty rad. And I don't like what happens when I first start blowing in, where it like shoots it out like a steam train engine. So I was experimenting with doing like smaller puff amounts, thinking maybe that would help, but not so much. Let me see if I can get this better shot here. Okay. So you guys in the comments, let me know how which of these looks best to you. See if I'm honing in on anything good, because this is apparently part performance piece as well. I had to learn how to vape just to do this. So even after I let it out, it still pours out of here for a nice long time. Not so much on the horns. Which I suppose, I wonder if I laid it back more, how that would affect it. Let's see. I think I can pretty easily do it. I think. Does this tighten that? Something tightens this. Good. Ah. Some of the paint on there isn't quite dry, which is annoying. Yeah, so you can... The problem with white mist, obviously, is that in places where there's a highlight reflecting off of there, you're not going to see it that well. But then when it's dark, let me play with the lighting a little bit. If I turn off this guy... Oh, one of the hoses popped out. Explains part of it. Dark can I get away with? Yeah, I can see it with my eyes, but I do not see it in the camera. Put a spotlight on it. Ooh, I wonder if maybe just a light passing over it, since it's going to be video anyway. That could be pretty cool. Yeah, that's probably the thing to do in video. So you get the best of both worlds. You get the backlit nature of it, you get the mist, the detail. Yeah. Though leaning it back did not make much of a difference. Let's see what happens if it's almost completely laid back. That's pretty nifty. Interesting. So it kind of pools up, which is cool. Then I'm thinking if I had a little fanner type thing, I can just give it a little bit of a fan. See how it's especially collecting in that little eye hole there. Thinking if I just give it a slight breeze so it can waft out in an interesting way, that'd be pretty neat. Yeah, I can blow with my breath pretty well. I imagine in slow motion it might be also pretty cool. Anyway, yeah, just thought I'd start out with that since I ended with it last time. Now I'm going to do the amazing trick figuring out how to turn this thing off. 1, 2, 3. So annoying. There's not like so it's got 3 buttons, right? It's got an up and a down and a trigger, whatever. And when you scroll through the menus, every single one of these 3 inputs does the same thing. It's like, why are there 3 buttons? I don't get it, you guys. That is the reason I don't vape. Only reason. Okay, let's do some sketching. Get my lights back on. Almost done with sunrise here. Then ready to move on to Bowmark. Oh yeah. Huh. I thought I had like a professional blender thing in there. But I do not. So I should continue to use my rolled up paper. So these markings on his face and neck are supposed to be burn scars. Because he was horsing around as kids do and tripped over this, and so the oil from the brazier spilled on his like chest and neck and part of his face. That ended up being why Bowmark, who was the one chasing him around, ended up going to live with him, because his father said, "This is kind of your fault. You've got to go take care of the family." And then they end up becoming best friends. And burn scar tissue tends to be like whitish. So I rendered these guys out and sculpted them in ZBrush, rendered them out to help me with shadows and perspective and all that stuff I'm bad at, because I'm not actually a very good artist. So I shall refer to my guide here. Trying to decide if I want to actually make this all the same illustration, or if I want to... Originally I was going to, in Photoshop, paste their heads onto the previous portrait I had done that I was unhappy with. Man, I have a hard time finding sketches in my sketchbook. I don't know why. There it is. Okay, so these boys right here, I was gonna just Photoshop their heads over them, but I'm wondering now if I shouldn't just recreate the whole image. In fact, I think I will, because Bowmark's necklace is not that design anymore. So. We'll see. Maybe their head difference and their eye. I'll see if I can get their eye contact to work together. So let's see. Necklace. Clavicle would be around here. Really liked having his arm around Sunrise's back. I guess would raise his shoulder up, which would in turn pull his clavicle up. Be careful to not make the muscles defined, because these are supposed to be 10 or 11-year-olds. Their necks look too thick. Trying to figure out if I can do eye contact between them at this weird angle. Might be looking a little too high up. Forgot I have a finger here. It's blending much faster. Hidden Level is out as an audiobook. I know, I shared it on Twitter. You think the boys are looking super cute? Good. I think this clavicle bending up like that is going to make a bit of a depression in there. And then the shoulder is going to pinch the skin between his trapezoids and delts. These are my guesses. I could look at reference. That might take a while to dig up. I mean, I could look at my own skin, but I think my muscles are a bit too big for a 10-year-old boy's. For whatever reason, these guys do not look 10 years old anymore. They look 10 years old in the sculpture to me. But the good news is I could put this illustration later in the book when they're like 12 or whatever. Yeah, I mean, if I had the power to give them chubbier faces and knew how to do that and still keep the expressions that they have, I totally would. Sadly, I am not at all confident in my ability to do that. Hey, Alex Fitch. You said you'd stop by and you did. Playing the little card game, it quickly destroyed you. You got wrecked. The card game on the little mini games, is that what you're talking about? Did you lose all your hearts already? You gotta save your hearts. You're gonna be able to spend them on awesome stuff someday. Someday. My plan, if I can figure it out, wish me luck on it, is to be able to have competitions for art and stuff, or, you know, like drawings, and you could play more hearts to get a better chance to win, sort of thing. Little pay-to-win microtransactions, as it were. Or pay to get a better chance at winning. Alright, I think I want to come back to this with fresh eyes a little bit later, so I'm going to move on to the final task of the evening. Just some foam rock thingies, such as we see here. That's right, the minigame's gonna totally swamp Guild Wars. I'm gonna be so mad. Okay, so this is the basis. As you can see, it's made out of insulation foam. And what I did was I made like 100 million billion of these, and have been it's so bright you can't even see the definition on them, but yeah. So I was putting them down mostly in squares, but they don't actually all line up everywhere. And so one way that I want to address that is I'm gonna go to select seams, like here where you can see it's totally off, and just excise some portions and patch around to give it, you know, it's not going to match up everywhere, but it can be less obvious where the mismatches occur if they're spread out more. I'm gonna put on gloves for this because I'm gonna be using black paint, and it's just gonna get everywhere, and who knows what kind of wet paint is still under there. Okay, let's see how well this pulls up. I have no idea. Okay, so it makes sense it would stick down on these seams best because the surface was just saturated with the glue paint mix. Huh. Yeah, these are not going quietly into the night. So, in this kind of case where I've got a pretty massive overlap like that, I could just kind of break this tile. Let's see what happens if I do that. Then I can put the broken bit kind of up and off to the side. Bonk. Okay. Now the question is, there's really no question. I'm going to keep using this Mod Podge, which I've mixed with black tint from the paint department at Home Depot. Because it is both glue and paint. Since the edges are going to be kind of obvious, going to make sure that I get plenty of paint in there. You like the new Guild Wars story, Leafa? It didn't make you cry? Hi, Kenzo. Top of the morning to ya. Hey, Daryl Phelps just subscribed. Just always a good reminder to say hi to all my new subs. Alright, who do we got today? We've got, let's see, it's almost all YouTube. Here we go, ready? Craig Rewar, White Nails Guitar, Wicked Ways, Richard Halo, Alex Mendiola, Ozzy Bozzy, Janae Terry, GBC, Jessica Baca, Ty Erika A, Karen Duncan, Arn Mook, Oliver Vetch A, VK Games, KP P. Gill, Dadia, Sizpulska Olga, Kit Santiago, Bastila, oh that's a Twitch, back on YouTube, Kelsey Holsey, Holsley, Brenna Guzman, Lucas Lopez, Morgan Lequan, Osguan Calgargalunga, it's totally accurate, Ralph Tor, Jeannie Terry, David Eduardo Emil Silva. On Twitch, we've got Alex Fitch. Thanks, Alex. Personally invited. And back on YouTube, Daryl Phelps. So again, thanks everyone. Thanks for joining. Oh, you haven't finished it. Okay, no spoilers. Letha says, Janae yelled at me in Messenger about tugging on her heartstrings in a glitch in the cosmos. Nice. Always good to tug them heartstrings. So I don't really like this technique I'm doing where I'm using these sewing pins to keep the foam down. I don't know what I don't like about it, except that there's these spiky pokey little things in here, and it's like soft foam, and it just doesn't seem like the materials should go together. I could get double duty out of this needle here. If I could find it. Where'd you go, needle? Tack down this piece. And that piece. Alright, so this broke up this long line of discrepancy there. I purposely did the piece that I thought would be furthest away from the camera during the photo shoot, just so I could kind of learn a technique that I want to use. Work calls, alright. Have a good one, Kenzo. So I'm not sure how much I want to go into this. I think I'm just mostly wanting to practice like how much is necessary to remove and replace to get rid of the apparent seams. That's what I want to know. So I guess it's practice and investigation rolled into one. Oh wow, I totally lost where I was cutting. So, what if I take the same blocks and just rotate them? It's good to know these are glued down really well. Yeah, see where I had that needle through, it really tacks it to the surface really well. I'm going to purposely not pin these ones down just to see if they stay really well regardless. Another place where it's really bad is right here. Like really, really, really bad. So I'm guessing in places where there's a huge discrepancy like that, just breaking off, having a bunch of individual tiles to fill that in will give me the best chance. Wonder if dunking these is actually would be the faster, better way to handle it. Letha says, I was just thinking that it's amazing when a person can work on a whole series like you and your mom have done. One, I don't have the patience to wait to publish, and two, my brain would melt trying to keep track of what's in which book. Yeah, that is going to be a challenge. That's definitely, I mean, it's like the main exciting thing for me is trying to make a franchise where everything is canon and consistent, but it's definitely going to require, I think it's going to require custom software that I'm going to need to develop with someone. Maybe something out there already exists that does it, but either way, I'm going to need some technical person's help at some point. Does that help? Maybe. Does it help worth the amount of effort I put into it? Very different questions. I think I'll choose one more spot to do tonight before calling it a night. This section right here is just really obvious. Can't quite see it in that light. Now, can you see it? This corner? Kind of. call it there for tonight. Thank you everyone for joining me, and we'll see you guys on the Sunday, as always, at 1 o'clock p.m. Pacific. We'll catch you guys then. In the meantime, check out my Instagram, Breath of Life Dev, on Instagram. It's cool. You'll get alerts every time, I'm going live. Alright, bye.